So I want to do a series on homesteading for very, very busy people. So I'm going to cover things that we do because we are both very busy. My job is more than full-time. I'm a real estate agent, and my husband has a full-time job as well. And to upkeep the homestead and make sure that things are growing and animals are still alive and so forth, it does take some time. However, we've put in systems to make it really efficient, and so we are still able to do our full-time jobs in an extremely productive way, and yet still be able to manage the homestead and be able to run everything all at the same time and enjoy doing it and it not being a chore. So I'd like to do a series on that and cover anything from the animals, gardening, maintenance in general, and even additional projects, and how we manage it and making it very streamlined and maybe on autopilot as well, so we can do everything and still keep sane and not go crazy. And if you have questions, let me know, put it in the comments, subscribe, let's go. And first things first, probably is not to stress about everything being perfect, because it's not going to be. Nothing is going to be perfect. So for example, here I was struggling with weeds. So this is the garden. So I have garden beds throughout, and this is kind of that walkway area. We wanted to make sure we have enough room to be able to drive to the back of the property here, just because it is the best access. So it is quite wide. So in terms of this was quite weedy. Weedy, is that a word? Anyways, it had a lot of weeds. So we wanted to make sure. So I just put landscape fabric down. And again, do it once, do it well. That is something I've learned the hard way. Do it once, do it well, so you don't have to repeat it. And that's when the time saving comes in. You do it well the first time. You take your time the first time. It may not be quick. However, it is important to do it right. So we put landscape fabric down to suppress the weeds, and then the hog fuel wood chips kind of to kind of cover it up, so it looks a little bit nicer too. So I do like that instead of the black landscape fabric, because for me it needs to be functional, but it also needs to look good. So, or the beds that I haven't planted in are completely covered in weeds. So we do have to do a lot of weeding. But again, it's managing those expectations. Will there be weeds? Absolutely. Am I really concerned about it not being perfect? No, because you can't. You have to be realistic with what's going on. So once I get to planting in that bed, I will weed it, I will plant it and move on. So I'm just kind of doing it step by step, again, making it more manageable. The other thing is sprinkler systems. So we're still working on a really good way to do this, but for now, irrigation, sprinklers really saved us on a lot of time. For the first few years, I was literally standing here for hours with the hose and making sure the beds are thoroughly watered. So it is a big garden, and to be able to have the sprinklers is a huge time saver. For now, we just have hoses going in and the sprinkler systems there. We could put it on a timer, which is also something we are going to be doing. For now, the timer is my phone timer, which is fine. You time it, you go do something else, and then you go turn off the water. Huge tip, timer is everything. You will always forget the water. You think you won't? You always do, because there's always something that you're going to be distracted with, or something else to do. Here are the sprinklers. So we kind of just, like right now, put it on a T-post, and here are, that's the sprinkler head, so it comes up and it does a 360 all the way around, and we basically put it on a PVC pipe, and then that goes down and it connects to the hose. So really simple setup. We do have in the back of this PVC, on the very bottom on the downslope, we do have a clean out. So when the winter comes around, we just kind of make sure all the water is out of there so nothing gets frozen. So it is a really simple setup. For now, it's been working really well. It does soak everything, which is nice. But again, could there be a better setup? Probably. But for now, this is a really efficient way to do things for us. The other thing that I think is huge in time saving is planting as many perennials early on as humanly possible. Things that are hardy, work well in the climate, and our perennials are going to continuously come back every single year with just a little bit of maintenance. So I love doing that. So the first thing we did was we wanted to make sure we got as many perennials in, so we at least don't have to keep replanting a lot of the food that we are growing here. So I'll show you some of those. So here's the asparagus bed. It has bolted, so I was away, so didn't pick the asparagus, so it is now bolting, which is okay. And I don't like to waste bed space for this asparagus only, so I've actually also included strawberries in this bed. They seem to be doing okay. Asparagus needs a pretty alkaline, non-acidic soil. Strawberries probably would like a little bit more acidity, but that's okay. I still have weeds through here, which I will go in and pick them out. But I do have strawberries in the asparagus bed. So both are perennials, which is a beautiful way to use one bed all together. And I just put these strawberries in last year, so we'll see how well they do, and they keep going. These are Egyptian walking onions. So you are not able to see it right now, but what they do, they create these seed pods, I guess, but they're like more like bulbs up on the top here, and then they get really heavy and then they reseed themselves. So very, very cool to have onions continuously without needing to replant onions. They are perennials and they just keep reseeding themselves. I don't know, would they be still perennials if they just reseed themselves? But anyways, less work for us, and we'll always have greens and onions available without replanting. And also herbs. I like growing herbs, and for example, this is sage. I have oregano as well, thyme. They're hardy and they're just gonna keep on going. So it's really nice to grow some as well. They're awesome to have in the garden, and companion planting is really great too. So I love having herbs or herbs, however you call it, in the garden. So sage, thyme, oregano's pretty hardy too. And what else? Just anything like that. Baby sunchokes. So these are tubers. So they grow like potatoes, that kind of underground, and they are resilient. They continue. If you keep any of them inside the ground, they're going to just keep on growing and spreading. So that is something to keep in mind that you do have to manage them. But they are coming. You can see the old stalks here. I don't clean all that up. Again, I don't worry too much about this stuff. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. I just want to make sure that everything is healthy. They have a beautiful soil. They're well taken care of. And yeah, so we're going to have a whole bunch here to choose from when it's time for harvest. And one other thing that I wanted to mention, I do my very, very best not to till. So I don't till my garden. So it does save me a lot of time. I feel it's better for the microbes and the nutrition and the everything that the soil needs. I do cover it for the winter. So right now I tried alfalfa. I did straw, leaves, like when the trees fall down. I should say the leaves fall down from the trees in the fall, I cover the beds. I keep the soil as covered and protected from the elements as possible. I want to keep it moist and so forth. So it does get covered. I do not till. Sometimes with the grass and things and the weeds gets a little bit hectic, but I'm hoping now that I have weed management in the aisleways that it will help the beds not to get as many weeds from the seeds and so forth. So I'm hoping that I'll spend time weeding this year, taking care of it, covering it up, and we won't have as many weed problems next year, and things are just going to continually get better. So I do that as well to make sure. I do add certain things to the soil depending on what I feel it requires. For example, after our fire, when we clean out the fireplace or the wood stove, the ashes, I do put them gently in a lot of the beds to add nutrients. I have comfrey as well, so I'm going to work on putting more of that, making fertilizer and just as natural as humanly possible without doing extensive amount of work. So these are haskaps. They are a berry. It's like a blueberry but different, and they are the first to come out in the season. So you can see they're already coming out, and it is just May. So they'll be the first ones that we're going to get for berries, which is amazing. Perennial as well. So I have 2 in here. We do have to keep in mind that the birds really love them because they are the first to come out in the season. So haskaps, a beautiful way to have perennial fruit and early in the season as well for harvesting. And I have some raspberries here. So I've planted these a few years ago. We haven't had too much yet from these, but they're little babies. So I'm hoping they will do their thing and do wonderful things for us and give us some berries. The raspberries also, of course, perennials. So they're just going to keep on going and spreading. So only going to give us more food. And blackberries. So I love these. They did so well last year. And they spread. They are perennials. So they just keep on moving forward. And you'll have fruit for a really long time. You put in 1 bush or 2, and they're just going to keep on spreading. So a wonderful way to continue with getting more berries and more food in the garden. That is mint, and it's kind of gotten carried away, and it's a little bit everywhere right now, but that's okay. It's not in my garden beds. I do have it here, and I'm going to pick it when I want some mint tea. I might even dry it and so forth. And honestly, it hasn't been too much of a problem. It's fairly manageable. I have some catnip here, so I have it covered because I don't want the cats to really destroy it before it has even a chance to get bigger. This is a nice surprise. Not a perennial, but this is cilantro, and it looks like it's just reseeded itself and it just keeps on growing. So that was nice to see that I'll have cilantro here. This is my gooseberry bush. So I have 2 of these. I like to have 2 of everything pretty much just to get things started. Again, it's a perennial. Throw it in, you'll have gooseberries. And it's just a great way to, and it's a pretty hardy plant as well. So that's really nice. There's kind of grass kind of coming in, but that's okay. So gooseberries, highly recommend. I have a currant plant here as well. So I have 2 of these. I haven't gotten I just put it in last year or something, so hasn't been here that long to see how well it does. But again, a great opportunity for a perennial. Berry, it's trying. It's been here a few years. It's really trying. I do have another plant somewhere else. Hopefully they take and do better. But definitely working on that as well. But I got this one started from seed. So it is still tiny, but they're pretty hardy. And once established, they're going to do really well. This is garden sorrel, so I'm not sure if a lot of people are familiar with this. This is already bolting, so it's going to give me nice, beautiful seeds here. It's sour. It's really cool. Not a lot of people are familiar with it. I remember growing up on it. My mom would make sour soup, but just really hardy as well. And I believe it's also a perennial or self-seeding because this I planted last year and look at it go. So I'm pretty sure it's just going to keep on going. So put it in a spot where you're happy for it to stay. Horseradish. So I actually got a few roots or bulb or whatever you call them from the neighbor. So I've put it in here and it's gone really wild. It's really happy here. So the horseradish loves it here. And again, it can spread pretty invasive, I think, but it's doing really well here and I don't mind because it's kind of out of the bed, so it's not going to go anywhere. It's just happy to be here. The one that most people maybe are not familiar with, and this is really hard to grow from seed. I almost suggest not to. I got this from my aunt in Ontario, and it's bear garlic or wild garlic. So you would eat the leaves here, and they're absolutely amazing. Not a lot of people are familiar with it, but once it gets established, it'll be just keep coming back and it's going to just do better. So I haven't touched it this year, but definitely I'm hoping to have a nice harvest next year. And in this bed, this whole bed, I actually have wild strawberries in here. So these are, they're called them wild strawberries, but they're like really small strawberries. And they are so sweet, so flavorful, absolutely amazing. For me, it's very nostalgic to have them in the garden because I remember them being in Poland. They would have them in the wild. So they are technically wild strawberries. I haven't seen them or much here in Canada. But look, they're already coming out. Very prolific, very, very tasty. And they do very, very well in this climate. And yeah, so I love having a whole bed of these. And I have other regular strawberries in here as well. So it's a whole bed of this. I mean, it's amazing and it can do its thing. And I don't have to worry about reseeding or replanting these at all. This is the grape. So I do have a few grapes. They're trying. This is probably doing the best. I put this in last year and it seems to have taken really well. So grapes, perennial, and once it gets established, very hardy, and it's going to give us grapes, which we absolutely love. So happy about that. And I have some thyme plants. So these were here, I don't know, a few years ago. I've kind of replanted them a few times. They love it here. And it's nice to have some herbs. Comfrey. So I just started growing comfrey because it's amazing fertilizer. So we can use it to dilute it with water and ferment it a little bit and put it back in the garden, or just chop and drop. Chickens love it. It's just a really, really, really great plant, perennial, and also quite invasive, so it will spread. So that is something to keep in mind. So I do have it in the corner here, and if it goes into the forest, that's fine. And I do have it in the chicken garden, which I will show you. But yeah, and I also have things that I want flowers. For the most part, perennials. I have hollyhocks and I have lupins and stuff like that because I want to make sure I have flowers for the bees as well. So things are coming out. And again, I still haven't weeded here, but that's okay. I have to consider that I am busy and things are going to be manageable and they will be just fine. And we have a lot of trees kind of that are blooming right now, and I'm just leaving that all for the bees. Gotta love the bees, gotta take care of the bees. So that is pretty much it. I'm sure I've missed a whole bunch of other stuff, but I will cover that. But that's the garden series on making things a little bit easier, more manageable, especially when you're busy. Of course, we all have very, very busy lives, if it's family, work, all of the above, and just in general responsibilities. And I find through life and through everything, every year that goes by, things just get busier. So we're putting in the effort to make things more manageable moving forward.